it's your boy Luke back for another Jock Market preview. We ended up taking yesterday off, which was a well-needed break. Nice to get out, play some golf and some poker, but now back to it here with our Jock Market picks for today. Of course, in this video, we're going to cover our top 6 stocks to target for tonight's IPO phase. If you guys are new to Jock Market or haven't played it before, it is the stock market for DFS sports. Essentially, you buy shares of players, and then based on their performance, you get paid out based on where they rank compared to other players. So if you can find people that are under projected by the Jock Market or just the industry in general, some positive EV plays to be made, and overall, you're going to see some target prices on these guys. You're going to get my rationale for why I think they're going to have a big night. And if you can get them for less than my target price, I think you're getting an absolute bargain tonight. So with that being said, let's hop right into it. We're going to start with Evan Mobley, coming in as the 40th ranked player in this field at right around a 30-point projection. For me, he's one of my favorite people to target on the Jock Market because of his high floor. He's somebody who's going to give you contributions across the board, whether it's with points, his defensive stats, or rebounding. And against a high-paced team like the Wizards, that should be an absolute fantasy goldmine. And the beauty with somebody like Mobley is that we've seen some of these ceiling performances in the past, particularly when he's able to score offensively. And the beauty of playing the Wizards is outside Montrezl Harrell, not really a big man there that's good on the defensive side. So should be a scoring fest for Evan Mobley, particularly against Daniel Gafford. So I have him projected closer to number 30, at number 29 specifically, at just over a 35-point projection, which puts him at a very nice target price of $4.25. I think he's going to go for quite a bit less than that, probably closer to $3.75 or $3.80. But as long as it's less than $4.25, I think you're getting a good deal. Again, somebody with a relatively high floor, but also has those ceiling games in them every once in a while. Next up, we have Vanderbilt, who unfortunately has that game time decision tag on the Jock Market, which makes him ever so risky. If you guys are new to the Jock Market, anytime a player has that game time decision tag and doesn't play, you are not covered for a refund. If they end up getting late scratched for something that nobody knew about, you are covered by the Jock Market, which is nice. But all signs as of right now, Vanderbilt is listed as probable. He should be good to go. Last time out, he was scratched as a little bit of a precaution. So really, it says game time decision. It probably should be taken away by this afternoon or even by the IPO phase opening. So I'm just going to leave that there as a caution, but he should be good to go. We'll get news on that well before game time there. He comes in as the 60th ranked player in the field, 59 to be exact, at just a 25-point projection. And a lot of that is due to the injury news, right? We're not sure if he's going to play, because if he's in there, he needs to be projected much higher, at least 33 points, if not closer to 35 points, which would rocket him all the way up to near number 30. So because of the game time decision tag, especially if that's not taken away by the time the IPO phase locks, he's going to go for way less than he should. And again, he's probable right now, which means that he has a 90 to 95% chance of playing in the game. That's what that means per the designations. So I really like him in this matchup against the Nets. The Nets, again, a team that's a little bit undersized. Usually I love to target big men against them. That has been a trend on this channel ever since day one, to be honest with you. Vanderbilt is somebody who's going to also, just like an Evan Mobley, give you contributions all over. He can score, he can rebound, he can give you those steals and blocks as well. So as long as he suits up tonight, should be a great stock to target. Next up, we have Jonas Valanciunas at number 30 in the pre-IPO rankings at 33.5 points. I think that's just a little bit too low for him, particularly in a solid matchup against the Mavericks. It's no mystery at this point that the Mavericks don't have a good front court. Porzingis is not a good defender at this point of his career. He's better at guarding guards than he is as somebody inside. And then the big men that they have, they put Moses Brown in the other day to try and figure it out. Went horribly, ended up getting carved up. Willie Cauley-Stein is not anything special. He's a little bit of a better defender, but not as good on the offensive side of things. And then, of course, you have Dwight Powell, who's an absolute stiff. So between the big men out there, Jonas Valanciunas is going to be absolutely electric against them. He's going to be shooting threes over them when they don't have somebody like Porzingis covering them, potentially Dwight Powell. And, of course, when they use some of the stiffs out there, he's just going to get past them with his speed. He's very quick for his size. Overall, a great playmaker, so you're going to see a lot of assists from him in this type of circumstance. So I have him projected at number 20, closer to a 37.5-point projection. And as long as I'm getting him for less than $6, which at that type of pre-rank, typically the guys are going for right around $6, I'm going to be more than happy to take some shares tonight. Next up, we have Kevin Love, who might be the opposite of somebody like an Evan Mobley. He definitely isn't a high floor player. His minutes have been extremely sporadic over the last few weeks. Some games he's playing close to 30 minutes, some closer to 14 or even 15 minutes. But the fact of the matter is, he's an extremely high upside play. He's coming in at number 72 in the pre-ranking IPO, which is a little bit ridiculous to me at just a 22.5 point projection. I think even as a median for him, we're talking something closer to 30 points, which would put him at number 43, with a ceiling of truly 45 to 50 fantasy points. I mean, this is somebody who could put up 20 points in a hurry with a ton of threes. We know he's going to get some rebounds, some assists, defensive stats as well. He's an extremely stout defender. So overall, just like an Evan Mobley, I love targeting these high-paced teams with relatively low efficiency on defense, especially from the big men spot. So Kevin Love, even though he's not as safe as somebody like an Evan Mobley, brings a lot more upside to the table, particularly when we can get him for right around $2 a share. My target price on him is $2.10. I don't expect many people to believe in him tonight. So for me, going to be a penny stock that I could see shoot through the roof. Next up, we have Joel Embiid, who was a feature on the last show that we had here for the Jock Market. Going right back to him because his projection is quite frankly still too low. It's still at just 41.68 points. Last time around, we had him projected for 45 points. He went for 49 points. Was a nice return for us that night. This time around, I'm expecting similar results, especially against a Hawks team that quite frankly isn't very good on the defensive side, particularly from the center position. A lot of times they're rolling out John Collins at center because Clint Capella can't play the entire game. And in those type of runs, Joel Embiid is going to go off. I mean, they're going to try and match Joel Embiid's minutes with Clint Capella, but Capella just can't keep up with his cardio. I mean, the guy's just a little bit, he's not as athletic, we'll say, as somebody like a Joel Embiid. So as a result, I do expect him to have a very good night here, even when Capella is covering him. I have him projected as the number 4 player on the slate at 46.15 points. And to be honest with you, that's conservative. I think we could be projecting him for 50 or even 51 fantasy points, and I would be more than okay with that. Just trying to keep a little bit of a conservative approach because with this video, of course, trying to make sure we're targeting guys that are plus EV, and we never want to try to force anything, right? So I have a target price on him as a result of just $10.75, and it's very likely he comes in below that. There's a lot of other options priced ahead of him. The 8 guys ahead of him are likely to go right in that same type of range as well. So while he's a little bit further down the board, I think that only helps him in terms of being a little bit overlooked. So again, the matchup's nice. The price tag should be nice tonight. As long as we're getting him for less than that, I absolutely love him. But at number 1, we have Kevin Durant, who's the number 3 player on the slate. And typically I don't like going this high just because the prices can get a little bit too pricey for me. But this matchup against the Timberwolves is absolutely ideal. And he's actually probably going to be a little bit lower priced than he should be. A lot of that comes down to James Harden being there. So James Harden is right in that same price range. Anytime people see 2 premier options from the same team, it tends to scare them off. But really, if you plant your flag on one of those 2 options, they have a nice night. You're going to get some pretty insane return there. You probably don't want to be taking both of them on the same night because for both of them to hit their ceilings, it's extremely rare. So for me tonight, I really like going to Durant because we expect this to be an extremely high-scoring game. Anytime we have shootouts, Durant's going to be putting up 35, 45 real points. Puts up peripherals in terms of rebounds, steals, blocks. Really just an underrated player when it comes to the jock market. A lot of it comes down to his shooting percentage. He's obviously one of the most accurate shooters in the NBA. Also tends to get quite a few of his baskets in terms of layups and dunks. So it doesn't really get as much of a negative boost as other shooters, like perhaps a James Harden would, or perhaps a Luka Doncic would. They're going to go out and miss 10 to 15 shots per game. So for me, love going to Kevin Durant. I have him ranked as the number 1 player on the slate at a 51.65 point projection. That's all I've got for the Jock Market preview. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments who you have as your favorite stock to target. Obviously for me, if it's at the top of the board, really like going to either Joel Embiid or Kevin Durant, but my favorite penny stock of the night, no doubt, is Kevin Love. But love to hear from you guys though. Let me know who you guys got down there in the comments. And as always guys, really appreciate all of your support here on the channel, for stopping by and watching. If you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you guys go ahead and do so. We're going to have even more Jock Market content coming throughout the week. Of course, our usual golf and NFL content as well. So until next time guys, good luck with all of your bidding for tonight, and let's win some cash.